Okay, I believe we are live. Ricardo, would you please bring me my glasses? I think they're in my purse. Hi everyone. Let me know if you are here, and especially if you're new, tell me. Oh, and thank you for my stencils, Ricardo. Um, Tell me your name. Let me know if you're new, and say hey. Thank you very much. I have my glasses. What? Okay, Ricardo, the Sue Crafter says everything's up and working. So say hey, let me know when you're here. Hi, Donna. Happy Sunday. We are going to use my absolute hands down, not at all lying. I'm telling the honest truth. Um, my favorite stamp die stencil suite of 2025. And it's like we're going to see all the ways we can use it. And I needed a Diet Dr. Pepper today. I had told myself that I was not going to, but like everything hit the fan like 2 hours ago, and I'm like, I get a Diet Dr. Pepper. So let me take a drink. I'm sorry. I'm going to sit it here off to the side. Ooh, happy Thanksgiving to you too. It almost doesn't even seem possible. And at least I got to see you a couple weeks ago, Donna. So we are using, let's see. I have to tell you, I always pull out brand new ones from inventory because mine are such a disaster. I would never want someone to think that they're as dirty and as bad as like mine are. So I pulled the actual things from inventory so that you can see the packaging. And drum roll, da 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 da. I can't do that. But if I did, it is the Art Deco Christmas trees stamp. The stamp. Let's see if there's, nope, I didn't do anything on the back. The die, which is kind of funny looking, but look, it cuts out among all the trees. It looks funny this way just because of cutting out between the trees, but when it's all die cut out. Hi, Laura Stahl. I need it alive too. You said that earlier today, and then you can't see it very well, but 4 layered stencils for this. And so this is hands down, I have to say, just my favorite versatile stamp suite of 2025. So I thought, and I have to say, this is all inspired because I don't know if you saw Brenda Nolke's post in the My Pretty Things Facebook group and on Instagram. I don't know if she posted it. I know I reposted it the other day, sharing it. I was just so inspired by her beautiful card. And I thought, let's get that out and really play with it because we've used it a lot in the last couple months. But I don't know that I actually had used it in a live and really gotten to it because I think my technology, hi Thelma, I think my technology kind of gave out on me a few weeks ago when we tried to do this. And so I got a brand new computer out of it because it was so old it just finally kicked the bucket. Look how pretty that is with crackle paste. That's through layer number 1, I think. And then this is a little bit of ink blending and then some gold stamped with gold embossing. And then this one I ink blended and I just love this one. And look how pretty it is against navy blue. So pretty against navy blue. And then stamped with the crystal kisses for just a little detail on there. But we never got to really use it and do all the fun things that I wanted to do because my computer died. So I thought, let's do that tonight. And I need to find my stamp. I have a feeling it's shoved into my box of goodies back here. And you're going to get, actually this week, just so you know, look how cute. I was stamping and I messed up, but isn't it cute? Oh my gosh, I love those bears. They're so very cute. You're going to get a twofer from me and maybe even another one tomorrow. I was thinking about going live again tomorrow. I'm looking for my stamp. I'm sorry to turn my back on you. It's got to be in here somewhere. And it's probably just thrown in here. And there it is, sure enough. Look, it was just thrown in there. I told you it would be. So let me clean this a little bit. And aren't they cute critters? Let's clean this so that A, it will stick, and B, so we can use it. So number one recommendation when using the Art Deco background stamp and die and stencils, if you are going to die cut it, I highly recommend die cutting first, because, and I said this before, but I'm going to say it again in case you're new. The die, these are the things we learn as we start to manufacture. I need to be very specific when I send a design to the manufacturer, and I needed to say, hey, I want the trees, this middle part, to be cut out so that we can see through it to see where our stamped image is, and be able to line it up. My bad. I didn't know I had to tell them that. I kind of thought they would do it on, but they don't. So some things I need to be very specific and tell them. So in the future, I'll know. Not a problem now. I'm just going to show you. I highly recommend, and I already have one cut. So this is the magic of, it looks kind of funny before it's actually stamped, but this is what it looks like die cut. It makes it so much easier to stamp. And let's go ahead and do it so I can just show you real quick on a white one. Here's what I did on purpose. I left a frame around it so that you can create a shaker card with it, or whatever you'd like to do. You automatically have a frame, and the images, the stamped image actually will go edge to edge. I designed it that way so that you had that frame to easily create a shaker or whatever you wanted. There is a little bit of room. So I want to put this here, maybe in the middle, stick it down on my sticky mat, and kind of get it to stick. And I'm going to line my stamp up to this. I'm going to put it right here, and I don't want it to move. So I'm using my bone folder just because my sticky mat is not so sticky anymore. And this will help it, because I'm using a Teflon bone folder. It won't harm the paper or put anything on it, but it'll help it stick down. And I'm going to line my stamp up to the die cut, the already die cut. And it's much easier than trying to stamp first and then line the die up. Okay, so this is my first tip on using this one. Just die cut first, not a big deal, and then stamp your image, and you can see obviously where your stamp's going. And the nice thing is the die only has about a 1 millimeter edge from your stamped image. Hey, did you invoice me for the inside the card sentiments? I haven't seen it, and I have been meaning to ask you. Donna, was I supposed to? Because I thought you had ordered it, but I did not see a record of the sale. Was I supposed to invoice you? Because that's a good question. And then I didn't want to be presumptuous and say, hey, did you want to buy that? So that's why I did not email you, because I thought that would be, I thought maybe I was thinking things in my mind, wishful thinking, that you had bought it, but I didn't know if you wanted to buy it. Now I have to hold this down because, like I said, my sticky mat isn't very good, and I don't want it to pick up my paper because I need it to stamp perfectly, right? I'm going to test it one more time and make sure it did not move. I think we're okay. Yes, I think we're okay. So Donna, if you want it, I will invoice you, and I apologize if I was supposed to and I forgot, because I'm old and I forget things. So, and there was so much going on at the crop that I just couldn't remember. I thought you had bought it, but then I didn't see a record of the sale. So if you want it, I will definitely send it to you, and I apologize. Okay, so here is my stamped image, or it's all placed. I have my stamp ready. I'm trying to think how we should. Let's do gold. Should we do some gold embossing? I'm I'm trying to think. Let's just do a green stamp first. Let me get some Versa Fine Clair. I have some new green colors. That one's a brighter green. I want a darker green. Let me get it real fast. I thought you were, but I can order it. Okay. I wasn't sure and I apologize. Let me get a green up here. Yes, and you're in luck because it's 20% off. So you can get 20% off on it if you order it today. I have a sale going on in the store, My Pretty Things, and it's good on everything except cardstock, obviously registrations for the retreats and workshops or gift cards. Everything else except for basically cardstock is 20% off in the store. So that sale goes on until basically 11:59 tomorrow. Okay, so if you are so inclined to shop, I would love it. And if you do not have this, you need it because it is definitely hands down my favorite, and it's all on sale for 20% off. And you don't need a special code or anything. The discount applies automatically at checkout until the end of the sale. So notice, once again, very light pressure. I'm not smushing out this pretty stamp because I want just a nice, easy, perfect, crisp line. So I'm not smushing it out. I would rather re-ink and do this a couple of times with gentle pressure than to smush those fine lines out. Okay, so it might take a couple times, and it's not the stamp's fault. It's just that I'm using very light pressure, because the more we push and smush, or the more we push, the more smush we get, and I don't like that. I want this to maintain the nice fine lines. And I will tell you, you want to use, if you have the mat, like the sticky mat or whatever, it's nice because it will hold your stamp. But here's the problem. Sometimes there might be little dips in your foam mat. It's not a problem with the stamp. It's just that maybe there's a dip in something, and I'm applying so little pressure that there we go. Maybe some areas you have a dip in your mat or something like that, and you need to give it a little bit more pressure. If you have just the foam mat in your Misty, I will tell you, I figured this out, and you're going to see a video on my tips on how to get the best, the perfect line sentiment stamps. That video is coming out in the next day or two. It's all edited. I just need to do the voiceover. And I found when I did not have a little bit firmer surface or a hard stamping mat like this, like my sticky mat, it smushed my sentiments too much. By just having the foam mat in my Misty, I noticed it gave too much of a smush, and I did not like that. So definitely gentle pressure, and I would rather re-stamp 2 or 3 times than to get a smush. Okay, so there are a couple places that just need a little bit firmer pressure, and there we go. Look how pretty that is. And that is with the VersaFine Clair ink. So pretty. Isn't that pretty? I love that so much. And we have the stamped image side to side, side to side. And I could cover this with clear now. We could do that. Clear embossing ink or powder, because VersaFine Clair stays wet even though it doesn't look it. I can use clear to definitely get that to set. And it doesn't seem like it stays wet, but it definitely does. And we can heat set that. Okay. So this could be pretty just as it is in green. And you could use this as a background. I also have a card I created. Oh, here they are. Hold on. Let me that might be where all the cards are that I was looking for. I think I was adding the inside sentiments for my video, and I didn't know where they were, and I see them now on my desk, so I can share them. But let's get this heated up, and I'll grab these. Hold on 1 second. And you can see samples. And you'll see this green look brighter as the embossing powder melts. Keep moving your heat gun until it's really good and hot, and it will quickly, there you can see it going now. You'll see it, and there's lots of details on this stamp, so make sure you get everything. Now it's melting quickly. Took my heat gun a little while to heat up, but now it's cooking with gas. I don't know if you can see it, might not be close enough, but boy, as soon as it melts, it looks like a much crisper, clearer image. You know when that embossing powder is melted. There. Look how pretty, just in green. How pretty is that? And you could use that, and you could create a shaker, and or just use it on a background. You could put it on a white card base. Let me see if I have one. I don't know that I have a card base done yet, scored and done, but let's see. There's the 5.5. So we need the 4.25. Wasn't looking right for me all of a sudden. There. Okay. So that you can really see it on a card base. Look how pretty, and it would go edge to edge. That is an A2 die, and it would be really pretty popped up with some foam tape, or like I said, create a shaker, and such a pretty background. I know, me too, Donna. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so there's a basic, and look, can you see, like, let's see if we can get the kind of glossiness of the, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. The glossiness of the heat embossing. I don't think I can get it, but it's there and it's beautiful. So here's another one. We created this one at the in-person, and look at that pretty, very soft background that's just stamped with, I believe, Tranquil Catherine Pooler ink. So just create a background on that one, and I used the new scalloped rectangle die just to create a frame. All these things are on sale in the store. It does look dimensional, and it's so pretty. And then look at this card. I believe Carol Hintermeyer created this one. Look, she used the stencil, and we're going to do this in a second, to just do a little bit of inking, and then use like a clear kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks like Crystal Kisses. I'm not sure if it is or not. For the background. So pretty. And then here's another one she created, and she used a gold or a brass to stamp that. And there she made a shaker cart. Look how pretty that is. And that's with the Timeless Beauty stamps. And that is the Happy Holidays sentiments. So she created, oh, and I got to show you, look on the inside sentiments. Did I put one in here? I think I did. Yes. Hoping your holiday is merry and bright. This is the new on the inside sentiments. And let me show you. These are on sale too. So if you don't have these, look, here they are. And they are so pretty. And I wanted to show you some examples inside. So I stamped this in. Carol didn't have this one because it wasn't out yet. Hoping your holiday is merry and bright. And I stamped that. Look how pretty that stamped image is. Perfect. I did that with VersaFine Clear red ink. It's perfect. And my video coming out will show you how to get that perfect stamped image. I know, Laura, all the new stuff is on sale, 20% off. And I have to tell you guys, this is the only sale I'm running. I'm not running a Black Friday sale. It's this weekend. And so everything's only on sale until midnight tomorrow. And then that's the only sale, because I figure everybody's going to have everything on sale for Black Friday and your crafty dollars would be spread thin. So I did my sale this weekend. Look, there it is, stamped in wow, polished silver. Hoping your holiday is merry and bright. I love this. Has like dimension, because that's how beautiful that super fine polished embossing powder is. Look how pretty it is, stamped and embossed. It's perfect. Perfect. And then I think I added one on here on the inside sentiment. This is that secret closure gatefold card I did. Look. 'Tis the season for twinkling lights, mistletoe kisses, and special memories. Stamped in VersaFine Clear again. Look how pretty that one is on the inside. And then I think, did I add some too? I think I added some. This is an Andrea shell card. Look how cute with the Santa's North Pole. And I think I added a sentiment on the inside here for you too, so that you could really see how, oh look, it's 'tis the season. Look how pretty it is. And that's polished gold from wow. 'Tis the season for twinkling lights, mistletoe kisses, and special memories. And that font matches the Happy Holidays font. So if you don't have those, there you go. And then I think I added one more so you could really see it. This is an Andrea shell card also. And look how she ink blended the background here with Crystal Kisses stamp. How pretty is that? And then she used the new scalloped circle and the stitch circle dies. So cute. So cute. And that's the Woodland Friends. Aren't they adorable? Oh, I didn't add a sentiment on the inside of that one. I thought I did. So cute. But look at that background. I mean, this background is, yes, Laura, if you still have your coupon, you can still use that. And I think that one is a little bit better deal. You just can't combine them. But you can use your 25% off still too. But that's a special coupon for people who had the kit. And you can use that anytime. Okay, so there's that. Now, I want to do this one on blue because I was inspired by Brenda Nolke's beautiful card she did with Forest Pine. And so I want to do gold on, she did gold on green, and I wanted to do some gold on the blue. Got this one yucky. So that's what I get for taking a drink on my desk, right? Let's clean this off. So you'll have to watch my video on all the tips on, you know, how to get the perfect sentiment stamped image. And then we're going to do a little bit of inking, kind of like Carol did, inspired by Carol's card. Let me cut a new piece of blue. Give me 1 second. Because if you know me, you know I love baby blue for the holidays. And do I want gold or do I want, should we do gold or should we do silver on the navy blue? They would both be beautiful. And I don't think, do I want to die cut it first? Yes, of course, we need to make a shaker. So let's die cut this first. I want to do two things actually. First thing I want to try is to create an embossed background using the die and an embossing mat, a silicone embossing mat. And let's see how it looks. I haven't done this yet. So I am going to flip this over. Don't want any pieces of paper. And we need to line our die up right here on the edge because it's cut perfectly to half of a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down. I don't want it to move. And let's tape it. with a little bit of mint tape. I don't know if it will hold it down on a silicone mat, but we're going to try. I have not tried this, so let's see how it goes. I'm not wetting it or anything. Okay. So let's see. Oh, did it move? It did. Hold on. I knew it wouldn't stick to the silicone. I'll wrap it around the paper. It won't hurt it. Okay. There, that'll hold it for sure. Let's see how this looks. I wanted to try this. I think it might be really pretty. Just, because more is more. That's my opinion. And by the way, did you see those beautiful new plates? I love a new plate. So fun. Okay, let's see if this is going to be enough to give a good impression. Ooh, it did. Look at that. Okay, it did not cut it. Ooh, it came close though. Okay, but look, can you see that impression? And if we stamp it now, let's trim it and stamp it and see what we think. Might not like this. We might think, I don't think I'd do that again, and that's okay. But it might be really pretty. Okay. It's not die cut. It's just embossed, a dry emboss, right? And now let's stamp it. We need to clean this off. And I definitely recommend using a stamp chamois on all of your fine line stamps, the things you definitely want a perfect stamp of. We don't want any little fibers, no baby wipes, no even microfiber towels. That's why I love the stamp chamois for things like this, because if you get, especially on your sentiments and things, if you get any of those little microfibers, any of those little hairs, they're going to not give you a crisp image, and we don't want that. And especially, this is a very fine point line, and so we do not want to mess this up. So I'm also not using a microfiber towel to dry this after my stamp chamois is wet. Let me go in with a dry one and just kind of dry it off. And let's see if we can line this back up with where I had it. I believe it was right in through here. This should work if I line it back up perfectly. Cross your fingers, okay? I can't use my magnets because it goes edge to edge. The stamp is actually just a little bit bigger than, I'm going to just use this right in these. Oh, wait, I have it upside down. Upside down. Make sure it's going right side up, and we'll know because the stars would be going up, right? Try this again. Okay. I'm just going right here in the lower areas, so I'm not pushing down any of the embossed part. I don't want to mess that up, and maybe right here along the edges. We want to keep that pretty frame we've got and that embossing, because we got a lot of embossing here. Now I'm going to see, I can't really tell because it's, just embossed into it. So we're going to say a prayer. And if not, then we'll do a new one, right? It's just paper. Okay. I'm using a little bit of anti-static on here. And we have to be careful now because we're going to have raised images and we're trying to stamp in between the raised images. So I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't. We may have needed, this might be one instance where we wanted to stamp first and then see if we could get the die lined up. I don't know if it's going to work. You have to see. And because I also don't know if my paper's lined up perfectly, because I didn't reposition my stamp. So there's a lot of what ifs on here. So bear with me. We'll know. Yep, it's off. It's very off. So that one did not work. So let's try a different one. If you can see, but look, can you see the embossed image? We may or may not like that. I don't know, but I might play with that one. Okay, so we're gonna set this one aside. We're gonna do another one. And this one I'm going to die cut. I got this one the back wet, but I think it's okay. We're going to die cut this one because that's what I originally wanted to do, was make that shaker card, right? Here's the other blue one. Let's see if we can get this one lined up in here. And we'll just use this because it's a perfect A2, right? Okay. So I'm wrapping that mint scrapbook.com tape on there. And now we're going back to our regular, we have our metal shim, we have our magnetic mat. I have an Empress. So look, brand new plate. Isn't it lovely? And we are going to run the first die cut through it. And then we have plate A, and that silicone mat is going away. And I'm going to run this through. We're going to die cut this and make a shaker card inspired by Brenda Nolke's card. If you saw it on the My Pretty Things Facebook page, it's dark green, the forest pine, and then she die cut it and stamped it in gold, and it's so pretty. I just love it. So look how beautifully that die cut with one pass. And let's get all these bits out. Okay, the tape is going to hold that in the back. We have to get those to come out. And now let's get the stamp lined up and stamp this in gold. Okay. Now we should be able to see it. And I might realign the stamp just so that we get that perfect stamped image and there's no question about it. So we're going to just stick this down again. It was beautiful here. What was the weather like where you are? We took the opportunity today with that nice weather. We got all of the outside decorations. Ricardo and Gabe really worked to get everything out and in place, and everything is connected, and we got the greenery on the railings. And I do what's everybody do? Do you put out lights or anything? I love my outside decorations. We have a family of deer that I like, not the real ones that eat all my plants that I don't like. And they're gold and they light up and they're all kind of on our corner. And then I have 5 angels that are lit, and they're on this one section that people can see as they come up the street. And so I don't put out lights because like on my shrubs or anything, because they're just a lot of work. But I do put out greenery on the railing with lights, and then I have a Christmas tree for my front porch. Laura says the weather was lovely in Ohio. Laura, did you put out any decorations? So the tree on the porch is all lit, but I didn't decorate it today. I think I'll decorate it tomorrow. Definitely taking advantage of the warm weather. Lots of times we are not that good about doing that. And we're putting, we'll miss a nice day, and then we'll of course put everything out on a yucky day, and then we get upset because it's so cold and yada yada. And so we definitely look at us at adulting. We're getting better and better as we get old. So we took the opportunity to get stuff out, and then tomorrow it's supposed to still be nice again, and I'll get the decorations on the tree on the porch tomorrow. And then we'll be all set to go. It'll be great. Okay, so I have repositioned the background stamp on our die cut navy blue panel, sticking my bone folder in there because my sticky mat is not overly sticky and I want to keep that where it should go. Okay, now let's use some anti-static. If this looks funny, it's because there's one piece right there that still needs to be popped out. I missed, but that's okay. We'll do that in a second. Okay, now ink this back up. And remember, easy. We're a gentle press, not a smush, right? And I'd rather, especially in embossing, I will stamp 2, 3, maybe even 4 times so that I can use gentle pressure and get a really good amount of embossing powder on there. Went on a road trip with a friend. Ooh, that's nice. Where did you go? Did you go shopping? You don't have any leaves left, do you? Most of ours have fallen. Let's ink this again. And we will use, I think we'll use the polished gold. I'd love to use gold twinkle or gold sparkle, but the problem is I want to do a little bit of ink blending through the stencil the way that Carol did. And if you ink blend through sparkly embossing powder, you know, you might cross-contaminate your ink pad and your blending brush and pick up glitter. And I don't want to do that. So we're definitely going to use polished gold. I would do the inking first and then be sure that it's very, very dry and then do embossing powder if I were going to use a gold sparkle. Ooh, this looks so pretty. See, what is that? Is that number 4? I'm even going in with number 5, but look, it's so worth it. Can you see my lines? They're perfect. And I just want to be sure I get a good amount of embossing ink on there and no missed spots, but also no smushing. It's so worth the effort. So worth it. Okay. And then look, here's my other tip. Pick up your sticky mat and kind of fold it back to be able to pull up something that is stuck to it. Now see, it really stuck. Okay. Sorry, did that make a loud noise on the microphone? I bumped it. This is wet too. I'm not using it. Get a new piece of paper. And we'll use the, did anybody take a vote on silver or polished gold? Ooh, you're going to the high mountains. Ooh, I bet it's going to be so cold. So cold. Did we take a vote? Gold or silver? Let me take a drink of Dr. Pepper and give me a vote. For gold. Polished gold. See, I know we're on a little bit of a delay, so any votes? Any votes? I'm going to pull Juniper Mist, you know, my favorite. And we might even, this is such a dark, this is navy at night. Oh, of course, Donna disagrees with me and she said silver. I need to find, I'm waiting for someone else to chime in. Anybody else going to chime in? Juniper Mist. Oh, Laura says silver too. Okay. Okay. Polished silver it is. Let me find it. Polished silver. Here we go. Very carefully. Move it around. Get all the spots. Give it a little below. I just need to clean off a couple spots. And I don't know if I missed it with the embossing powder. Missed a spot here. Nope, I just hadn't gotten it. Maybe a little bit, but no one will notice that. And then we will. Ooh, Ooh, that one is to the top. I know why. It's because I was playing around and creating my own, trying to create my own embossing powder combinations. And poured some out of one jar into this jar. So it's overflowing. Okay, let's get a dry paint brush that I can clean anything off. I like paint brushes with a little bit of a firmer bristle. Down here it needs to be, nope, down there that's the way it looks because that's part of the stamp. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm going to pop that piece out. Oh, I don't want to mess up my embossing powder. Okay, here we go. Let's let this heat up. Oh, Donna, I wish I could still ski. I love to snow ski. One of my favorite things to do in the world, but my back just won't let me anymore. Okay, I'm really getting this hot this time. And I'll start from the back. And you'll definitely be able to, I think, see when it starts heating enough. On this navy blue, it should really show up. So that we don't blow everything off of the front, we're going to start heating from the back. Get that melt underneath. Okay, and then we'll move to the front. And it's going to take us a couple minutes to get everything. See, can you see it? Ooh, look at it. Ooh, it's so pretty when it starts to melt. So pretty. Don't you love it? Make sure that we get all those pretty lines. I got a couple places that I got some embossing powder stuck that I didn't want it, but I don't know if anybody else will ever notice it. Make sure you get all those pretty lines in between, right? And I'm going to move it. Can you see it? Isn't it so fun to watch the embossing powder melt? It's so good. So good. Y'all picked a good one. The silver looks so pretty. Look. Ooh, isn't that so pretty? So very pretty. Look. That's a good one. That's so pretty. I don't even know if you'll be able to see if it will make any difference. I was going to do a little bit like Carol did. We'll see if we can see it. Just a little bit of embossing, or inking, but I don't know if you'll see it or not. So, but we'll try it. That's pretty. That looks so pretty. Look how that is. Okay. I'm going to get like the Juniper Mist navy blue. Here we go. And my sticky mat. I've been using my Altenew 2.0 a lot because I love this stickiness. Let's stick this down because I can stick my stencil. It's a 6x6 stencil, so it will easily go around it. And I'm just going to do like the little bottoms maybe, or do the whole thing. The number one, you can see a number one right there. That's how it's marked. And we'll just take your time to line it up perfectly, right? Right. Okay. Get it to stick down. And we'll just see. I don't know if we're even going to see this much. And that silver is so pretty. Okay. And we're just going to kind of do it to give the tree a little bit darker. And I'm not going to do the star. I mean, maybe let's go ahead and do it. We'll see. It kind of looks like Dallas Cowboys, if you ask me. That's why I probably would have picked the gold. I don't have anything against the Dallas Cowboys. I just didn't want it for a Christmas tree card, right? But that's okay. I get it. I love silver too, but that's what this is reminding me of. But we're taking inspiration from Carol's card, and I was so inspired by Brenda's card. That's the dark green background. That was why definitely I couldn't wait to get into the craft room today after all my other little jobs were done to maybe create something. And you know what? The new Snow Angels embossing mix, if you get that with your discount, it's going to look so pretty in this as a shaker card. Let's see how this looks. Are you ready? Now, here's one thing I'd like to do before we go any further. Get very gently, because this has those stars, I'm going to very gently wipe some of this ink off. Very gently before I pull this up. And now we will buff the see, I don't even know that you can see it because this cardstock is so dark. Now I'm going to buff up the embossed lines so that they're nice and shiny and not covered in ink. Paper towel is good for this too, but it just, it's going to, the embossed lines are not going to take on the ink. It's only the paper that does, but you just need to wipe it off because embossing powder is basically plastic, right? So here we go. You can't really see it on there, but that's okay. Let's put this on a card. Okay. Let's put it on a navy blue card base. We're going to use this one. So we'll make a shaker card. We'll use Fallen Angel. Mix, I'm thinking. Or a silver one would be okay too, but there's so much silver. I think more of a translucent one might be good. So let's get we need to get some clear acetate. I got to think about what I'm doing here. Think about my phone, but we need acetate. Okay. Just a little bit smaller than A2 size. And then let's think about, while I'm doing this, let's think about what we want on the front of our card. So A2 is 4 1/4. We're going to make it a little bit smaller than that so that how are we going to decorate the front of our card is what I was trying to say. By 5 1/2. Now, let's get some score tape. I love the 1/8 inch score tape. Everybody should have it. Or double-sided tape, whatever you call it. And it should work perfectly on this little frame we've got with the die. Something else I wanted to show you, remind me, So we use the background die and we dry embossed, right? It's just that I didn't line up my stamp well. I didn't realign it. But we know now that we can dry emboss using the background die, right? And we can use the stencil to color it like Andrea did on the front of her card. And she used kind of non-traditional, kind of pink, very light pink and light green. How pretty is that? I love that one so much, right? We stamped it with a pigment ink and put clear embossing powder on it, right? And remember, die cut it first. And then we stamped it just in the background of this card. We did not die cut it. We just stamped it to give some background interest, right? You could stamp it and then die cut it out a tag and use it just for a background interest that way. There's just so many things. I just love a good background stamp and die combo. And then the fact that we have the layered stencils to color the stamped image if we wanted to. There, I didn't get this lined up perfectly. I'd have to do some trimming. When I'm on a live, sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. And let's trim this. Okay, so we've got our window. And now we have a card base. We need our 1/8 inch foam tape. I like to double it up for a shaker so that we get, because if you're going to shake it, we want a good shake, right? So I like to double it. Here's some that's already doubled back on itself, but sometimes I don't get it perfectly. And it's kind of hard to part. Might need to. Everybody's talking about the weather. And I think Donna's trip to the mountains. I will stick with the warmer weather. That's my, unless I were skiing, which I can't do anymore. Okay, so edge to edge, so we don't lose any of our goodies. I like to burnish that down so it doesn't go anywhere. This one I didn't get perfectly. That one. Is this anybody else's favorite? Laura says the hotter the better. I know. Give me a good beach anytime, right? Even at Christmas. I liked when we lived in Florida and we would walk the dog. I remember walking the dog in December in shorts and looked at the lights on palm trees, and I loved it. Now I got my foam tape a little bit close to the edge here, so don't really want to show. I did not mind. The only time I really missed kind of the northern weather was in the fall time when we didn't really have any fall leaves to see. Now that I do love. Okay, let me see if I've got any more foam tape here that's already ready to go. If not, and by the way, if anybody was looking for some of the colors that are sold out of the cardstock in the store. I know it's not on sale for the 20% off. I know it's so fancy already, isn't it, Donna? Cardstock restock should arrive on Tuesday. And included in that will be the vintage craft, which I absolutely have fallen in love with, and even a couple of new colors that I'm trying out. I'll let you know if I like them and if they're going in the store. But the restock should arrive on Tuesday if you were waiting for that. Okay, let's take this off and add one more. And if you want to add that to your order, if you're placing an order, like I said, not on sale, but I will hold your, oh, I guess you can't order if something's out of stock. Just email me and let me know if there is something that's out of stock that cardstock wise. And I could add it to your order, I believe. Or I could go in and make inventory, have one that you could add to your order. And then I would just fill your order when it arrives on Tuesday. As long as it arrives on Tuesday, but it should. It's pretty good about arriving when it says it will. Okay, burnish those down. Now we've got a double foam, so we're going to get a good shake. And I am going to use, I think that's Fallen Snow. And I really wanted Fallen Angel. Give me 1 second and let me go find Fallen Angel because that one's a little bit more transparent. And Fallen Snow is more white space, and Snow Angel, not Fallen Angel. That's so funny. Find it. I'm laughing so hard. Have I been saying Fallen Angel this whole time? What a hoot. Snow Angel, not Fallen Angel. That would be a whole different one, wouldn't it? That is so funny. Now I'm going to laugh so hard thinking about that. So this is Snow Angel, not Fallen Angel. That's a whole different program. It's more of a translucent base. Now it does have pearls in it, and it has some gems in it. So I want to make sure it's going to shake. So that's why you need the double. And when I'm being really, really good, I will flip these over and make sure they're all face up. Now, you do not want to see me do that right now, but like a lot of these are half pearls, and so you want them to be flipped. And gems, there's gems in here too. And you don't want them upside down. You want to be able to see how pretty they are, but you don't really want to see me do this in the live right now either. But FYI, that's what I do, because this is a mix, a gem mix, not a shaker mix. A shaker mix is more flat for your shakers, and I consider this what I call a gem mix, because it's got half pearls and it's got gems and flat back gems, and I'll take the time to flip all those around, because if they're in there, I want to be able to see how pretty they are, right? So I think I actually got most of them. Now let's take our backing off and flip this over and get it adhered. And I really wanted to put a bow on this, because the Put a Bow on It 5 is in the store and on sale. But I don't know if it'll go, right? Now let's make sure we get this. Okay, make sure we burnish it. I maybe should have added some more shaker in there. Sometimes it's a fine line between too much and not enough. Okay, make sure you get a good seal, so burnish that down. Okay. Look how pretty that is. So that's the, maybe should have added a little bit more. That is the Snow Angel mix. It's a little bit more transparent. The Snow Flurries has more of a white base, and this one is more of a transparent base. Okay, so pretty. And that's got those half round pearls and the gems in there. Okay, and Snow Flurries has I don't know if you can see it here. It's more of the white base. See the difference? It's got snowflakes, it's got white beads, it's a lot more white sequins, things like that. I know the bows are so pretty. So, but look how pretty that is. Okay. So pretty. We could put in here, we could do a frame like I did on the one. We could do something in the middle with the scallop circles, the scallop stitch circles. Let's see what we've got going on. What would be something? We could put this die, let's see, a die cut bow on here. You know, the bow just in the middle is pretty in and of itself. So if we did the bow and we just did a little center, look how pretty that would be. How pretty. We could do the bow in like white or pink. Let's die cut it in pink and see if we like it. I don't know. We may not, but let's see. You should try it, right? Since we put all this work into it, let's do what we really want to do. A pink bow might be really pretty. Okay. So let's do the darker pink with the lighter pink. Here's the dark. This is that one's really dark. That one is that the fuchsia fizz? Yes. So here's the 3 colors of pink I have now. This is pink frosting, fuchsia fizz, and this is perfectly pink. Let's do perfectly pink with the light pink frosting so that we get, so the background should be the darker and this one should be the lighter. So we get the dimension, looks like shading. Okay. And then let's do this first. Trying to do a lot at one time and it's just going to mess me up. So put the little tails on there. What else have we got? Oh, we've got the knot and the top. Okay. All right. Let's run this through and then we'll run the darker shaded part through. Okay. My fingers are dry. So this is the Put a Bow on It 5. This was not in the virtual kit, but it is in the store. It's the only one in the store right now because the other ones were exclusive and they won't be in the store until 2026. But this is Put a Bow on It 5 and it's so pretty. I love it so much. Look how this one cuts out. Look how pretty that is. That's all that dimensional detail. It even has a cut line. Has this cut line right here, has embossed lines. I don't know if you can see those like right in there. So you get even more dimension, but it's got that little cut line so you can see. Oh my goodness. So very, very pretty. Okay. So now let's run this through. And this is the background. So you get the shading. I like to do another set of tails. And then I don't know if we need this piece, but we'll do it anyway. Because our little knot is cut and notched for shading also, right? Are you with me? Let me know. And is there anything you want to see? What are you thinking? Any questions about anything going on? Next Thursday, obviously, is Thanksgiving, so I will not be live. And I might go live again tomorrow just because the sale is going on still. And, you know, maybe we need to feature something else, like maybe the new scalloped circles and rectangles. See, there's the shaded part. Okay, let's put this back in here. And if you aren't sure how you think it should go, there it is on the back. And I cut mine, so that's why it looks funny. But that's the way on the diagram I have it. If you want it that way, if not, do it your own way, right? Do it the way you like it. Okay, let me put these pieces in here. Okay. You could ink blend if you wanted to, and I'll zoom this in just a little bit. Oh, I didn't did oh yes I did. Good. I was worried I didn't cut two tails out. So, a couple different ways you can do this, but I like to layer it up like this. See that? And that way you get your shading. You get the shading automatically. And if you put this over it, you're still going to cover it with the bows. So that could go in front. I think it'll go, I'm going to put it in the back. Let me get my glue. Here it is. Got it. So let's just glue these together. I like to offset them just a little bit. And then layer these up. Super easy, right? And I only like to do it in the middle. Makes sense? See the kind of dimension? Now you can glue it down, but I kind of like that look. Okay? And you see why we use the darker color, because it gives that shading. Now, if you want to glue it down, you can do that, obviously. I just kind of like, and you could even snip these two apart so it looks like two, you know, the top bow and the lower bow. You can totally do that too. It's up to you what you want to do. And then if you wanted to add this final step, I'm going to do it so that you can see it. You put this circle right over here. Match up those two with the shaded little die cut shaded part, and then add this other piece in. Okay. So it truly looks like the little knot. Oops. I shouldn't have put it over the whole thing, because we have a notch out of it. So it looks like this. Oops. If I used tweezers, it would look a little better. Or it would have been easier to grab. There. So it looks kind of like, you know, it's hide right there. And you have a little bit of a crease and some shading. So that is the cute put a bow on it 5. So cute. You could add a little bit more shading in here if you wanted, right? To just, you know, give the perception of more shading. But look how cute that would be on our blue, navy blue background with silver. So cute. We could put that. We could pop it up with some foam. And let's see what we've got for a sentiment, or maybe we could add some greenery behind it if we were so inclined. Let me see what I've got over here. you know, I've got some already made, but I've got some of the banner ribbon already, but we're obviously not going to use those. But what I was looking for is one of these, but these I don't think are going to match either, because these would be cute. And I'm not going to use this one, but I'm just showing you. Like in gold, you could put that right over the bow, the Merry Christmas from Banner Ribbons 1. Could even go down there. But it's gold, so I don't like that one. So let me see what else I've got. I know I created a whole bunch. Now it's just a matter of where did I put them the other day. One second, I'm looking back here. See what, oh, here's some other ones. Let's see if I have a white one. Or what color I've got. I do have white ones not done. Look, we could put a white one on there, and you could put it right in the middle for your sentiment with the banner ribbons. Yeah, I just have a bunch cut but not done in here. So we're not going to do those. None of those are done. Let me see. Hold on. We did a whole bunch of other sentiments the other day. From the Happy Holidays set. Here they, okay, I think I know. And I don't know if I'll like these either. We'll have to see. We could always put this on a circle die cut or on the scalloped. I know I've got some silver ones in here. Let's see what we've got and see if we like this, any of these. Oh, we could put this on a tag. How cute would it be if we put a tag? Oh, this would be cute. Or even hang a tag off of the bow, a little one that says joy. Look, in silver. Or you could put joy right in the middle of your bow. How cute. That would be cute. Or a little tag hanging off. Wonder where all my little tags are. Home for the holidays. You could do something like this, right? As long as they're all connected, you should be okay. You could put it in the middle. See what I've got. Merry and Bright or Happy Holidays. Something like that. What do you think? Any ideas? There's Noel. That's little. That's so cute too. Let me see if I have a little die cut tag to show you what I was thinking. I have to think about this one. I know I don't totally finish cards normally together because it's normally more about a technique, but look at these little tags. Look how cute they are. This is from the Everyday Tag set. I know you did as well. I saw them at the retreat. I know, but Danya, everybody took those. When they were making things and they took them all. So I had to make more when I got home, you know. I'm not mad. Just saying, everybody took them. Let's see. So we've look if we like hung a tag from the bow, how cute would that be? And then you can put a sentiment on there if it's the right size. We've even got a navy blue one that you could put joy or Noel on. Look, see how that fits on there? And then you could hang it off of your bow even. How cute is that as a little tag? Then I've got bigger ones. Tags are always good. You can't go wrong if you've got a good tag. Love that I love mass producing things ahead of time, just like this, so that I can pull them out. I've got so many I've got greenery cut, and I've got circles cut, and I've got tags cut. Look, that's why it's nice when you have made a whole bunch ahead of time, because you can just start playing and you have pieces ready to go. So there's so many different things we could do. We could, and I don't want to cover up our pretty background too much. You know, you can always put a pretty tag on here. I do more of a medium one maybe. There's a smaller one, and you could put that on there. And then that way your shaker doesn't interfere with your kind of where your eye is focusing on your card. And maybe you could even put your bow on there on the tag, and then do a bigger sentiment because your eye now has some place to focus. Do that. I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm not thrilled with that. And I don't want to rush to finish this really pretty card that we've worked on. You know, we could do this. I'm really thinking that I even like that one home for when you have a bigger sentiment like that. It would look pretty. Or we could, like I said, use a smaller one and hang it from our bow like that. Almost like the bow is the part of it, like part of the gift. So anyway, let me think about that. And I could even add some greenery on here. I've got this pretty greenery already done. So there's so many things we could do. And I don't want to rush to finish it, but I will hopefully get this done. But look at I love it. That, I really like that. That's so cute, right? And I kind of like it right in the middle as its own little focal point. That's such a pretty bow, isn't it? And there's our shaker. And this is everything. My favorite, let me get them all. Stamp suite of the year, I have to say, is the Art Deco Christmas trees. Stamp, stencil, dies. Look at all the different things you can do. Here's the one we made. That's the pink background shaker that I created. This one's Andrea's card, Andrea's shell. This one's mine. This one's mine. This one's mine. We did this one at the beginning. Remember the green one? And this is Carol's. Both of these are Carol's cards. Let's zoom out just a little bit. So many things. And we didn't even have time to stamp it on a tag. Carol's cards right here. But this tells you why this suite is my favorite for 2025. It is the Art Deco Christmas tree stamp, die, stencil. Look, Andrea's pretty card with the stenciling. So many things you can do, and see how it works. The inked background works with the circles and the double scallops, because this fades into the background and your eye knows exactly where to focus. That's why I was thinking about why I might do that. And then the same thing here. It fades into the background, and by creating the frame with the double scallop rectangle, you've created a focal point for, even though it's kind of off to the side, that adds interest to the card. And that's why there's so many different ways to use this whole suite. My favorite, hands down, for 2025. Okay, I hope you love it as much as I do. It was included in the Crafting Sweet Memories kit, and we had a virtual classes. You got 18 projects, 6 classes, so much fun. Then we had the in-person crop, and we had 4 more classes. But hands down, I think the Art Deco trees, I just love them so very much. And I just wanted to share my excitement for you. And the fact that the entire store is 20% off. It's a great time to get your embellishments. Any this put a bow on at 5. The new scallop circles, rectangles, the things that were not in the kit, the inside sentiment stamps, right? All these things that have come out since the kit. Here it is. Here's the double scallop circles with these, and they layer perfectly with the stitch circles. Okay, they're made to work together. This is made to work with the everyday tag set. You can layer, and I have a sample of that. Here's the little one. Here's how that looks layered on the tag. Okay, that's how it works together. And then you have the inside sentiments. So I just wanted to make sure everybody got to see all of that. And I was just so excited to work with my favorite of everything is the Art Deco Christmas trees. Love Art Deco art. So thank you everybody for joining me. I hope this helped with some stamping tips and how to use the Christmas tree so many different ways. And make sure you go to the My Pretty Things Facebook group and share if you've created some things with this. Everybody loves to see everybody else's cards. So make sure you go and share those there. Okay. So I will see y'all later. Thanks so much for joining me. I might go live again tomorrow. Let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like to see, especially while the sale's going on. So thank you, everybody. I will see you. Have a great evening. And if I don't see you this week, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I count you all in my blessings. We are so very blessed, and I count all of you among the many, many blessings. And you know, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. And so have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and be safe. And Donna, you're going to the mountains. Stay warm. Okay. Bye, everybody. Take care.